And we're live. Welcome to our homebuyer seminar. I'm Bill Gross, at Bill Gross Probate on social media, along with my friend and colleague.
Patricia Castillo.
And Patricia. Back to two of us. We used to have a running mate, but we were abandoned, but we're not letting that slow us down. We're still working hard, helping people. I'm busier than ever.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but I got all kinds of people calling me and leads and appointments and stuff. What's the real estate market doing for you? What do you see right now?
I mean, I'm busy as well. I closed 2 escrows today. Took a listing.
Whoa.
I know.
Close to today, not close to this week, not to in February, close to, and you said it so nonchalant, like, yeah, I closed to today, like I'm, one or two tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much in line with what I've been keeping up with in the real estate market, right?
Good
A
for
lot of
you.
when the rates went down towards the ending of the year, mortgage applications started, the first week of January, we heard that mortgage applications had increased. And it's true because people were starting to get under contract November and December so they can close January, February. So I closed, a couple of escrows last month. I closed 2 today. I took a listing yesterday in Norwalk, and
Whew.
it's busy, I can say. But one of the, main concerns that's still coming up today is affordability, right? I've read that 1 out of 5 home buyers cannot qualify to buy a home. And, there's a couple more that feel that they're just kind of afraid or they're nervous because when you look at the rates, first we had predictions of rates coming down as of spring of 2024. Now, Fannie Mae just released their housing forecast for 2024 on February 23rd. And now they're stating that we should see 3 rate cuts this year. The first one starting in June, and that's coming directly from Fannie Mae. So the real estate market continues to change. It evolves. It's frustrating sometimes because we don't know what's going on. And we hear predictions that are coming directly from the sources at B, but they have to reevaluate as well, depending on what the economy is looking like, inflation, the labor market. And so here we are giving you the latest update in terms of where we are at today.
Well, and yet people who are buying today, writing offers, when did they typically start their process?
Yeah. Oh, months back. I mean, I have, and it depends, right? If you're an investor or if you're a first-time home buyer, typically first-time home buyers might start 6 months ago, maybe even 12 months ago. If it's an investor, they're pretty much sophisticated and savvy with the entire process. If the numbers work, they can write an offer and close in 2 weeks. And that's one of the escrows that I closed today. We opened escrow 2 weeks ago and closed today. But that was an
Whoa. You opened escrow 2 weeks ago and closed today.
Yes, it was a all cash deal in the Valley.
Look at you. Look at this.
Yeah, so I mean, it just depends who the buyer is, right?
Yeah,
and what their goals are.
Yeah.
And what I learned today, and it's so important to network in any business that you're in, any profession. But today I was talking to a lender. They have a partnership. I might have him, going to see if he has time to get on this call with us because I think the information was just really, really appealing, especially for buyers that are concerned about affordability. And so this lender, they initiate the loan, they close the loan, and then they have a partnership with Chase. And Chase ends up servicing the loan. But what really intrigued me was that they offer an overall lower cost for the buyer, whether they're first-time buyers or repeat buyers. These are conventional loan programs, and they'll save about 1.5% overall off right now rates are about 7.15% for an average 30-year fixed. So the rates that they're offering are under 6.5%.
And what's the criteria to get the loan?
Yeah, and they're not FHA. So you have to have a FICO score of over 620. There's no income ceiling. So some of these loan programs have income restrictions. This one does not. One of the other requirements is that it has to be owner occupied. So if you're buying the property, you must live in it. You can't buy it for a rental property. Um, and so when the loan is initiated by this lender, they do the underwriting and they do the whole process as far as packaging the deal, doing the underwriting, the appraisal, getting the loan approval, all that. Um, and then after that, once the loan closes, then it gets serviced by Chase. But it's a really good program because there's certain pockets of LA, certain neighborhoods that qualify for this lending program. So it's not open to every single property in every county, but certain neighborhoods that they're, looking to build sustainability in.
Wow. So obviously, if somebody's interested in that program, they should reach out to you directly, and you'll put that together.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. I also talked to a guy today. I interviewed a lender I've worked with before who has a program where a buyer gets pre-approved.
Mhm.
They pay a little higher fee, but their offer is cash, meaning the buyer of record is the lender, and they make an offer all cash, close in 10 days, no loan contingency. And so I think that as the market, continues to be competitive, buyers maybe 6 months ago, these programs came out, lenders wouldn't take the time really to explain them to them.
Right.
Today, the lenders have to explain these programs because that's the business that's available today.
Sure. Yeah, and I think just providing that information to buyers, whether they're first time or repeat buyers, but having that information and knowing what opportunities are out there is really what it takes to get you into escrow and have these contracts written and understood, right? Because when buyers understand what they're doing along the process, they feel more empowered, they feel more confident, and it takes that nervousness and fear away from taking that leap, especially first-time buyers. Um, they are really green, and even the lingo that we use and the vocabulary, explaining contingencies and knowing, when to remove them and not, and also keeping up with buyers and when they have to submit other conditions that the lender might need once you are in escrow and getting your loan approved. So those are all things that really make a difference in helping buyers get into a deal successfully and close escrow successfully.
So, how would you rate the market where you're in? I know here in the West LA area and overall in the city of Los Angeles,
Mhm.
Altos Research has it at a 40, which is a seller's market, still slight, not as intense as 6 months ago, but still to some degree. What
Right.
do you see in your market?
I do see that it's a seller's market. I think listings are taking a little longer to sell. I mean, they're not flying off the shelf and, selling in 5 days like they were during the pandemic, but I have seen listings that haven't had any price reductions, but are taking about, 45 to maybe 60 days to sell in some cases, but still selling at the price that the properties were listed at. So I do
Yeah.
see it's still a seller's market, but I am also seeing that sellers are in some cases helping with closing costs for the
Yeah.
buyer.
Yeah. I'm curious, the news is making a big deal out of this commission lawsuit. I don't believe the lawsuit has the same power in California where we have buyer broker agreements. We have the ability to customize our contracts built into them. Theoretically, buyers, today have the right to ask for that. Without getting into all the politics and legalese of all that, but my question is, do you get buyers at all talking to you about commissions and their ability to negotiate your commission, or when making offers, wanting to be the buyer's commission separate from the listing agent, or is that just something that's in the press and buyers don't really care about in your experience? Because I haven't had anybody ask me about it. It's in the
Right.
news, but I haven't had any consumer even bring it up as a subject.
Right. And that's a good topic too, because I think when buyers are hearing that on the news, they're thinking, oh, great. Not only do we have to come in with the down payment, but we have to also worry about commission, right?
Right.
And paying the real estate agent.
Right.
Um,
Stupid.
but I personally haven't had any buyers ask me about that being an extra cost for them, right, as part of the process. But
Or on the positive side, have you had any say to you, will you take a lower commission, or can we offer less? Or, I mean,
Mhm.
the point of all this theoretically is to empower buyers to get a lower commission. Has there been any buyer approached you? Now you might say, no, I don't lower my commission, and it's negotiable. We're allowed to say no. I think some
Right.
people assume just because the buyer asked for it, you have to cut your commission. But have you even had a buyer even bring up the subject matter at all to you?
I haven't.
Yeah,
I
interesting.
haven't, and I haven't even, even when I'm working on the listing agreement with the seller and getting that signed and talking about the price and when we're gonna go live on the market and all of the preparation that we do before the listing even hits the MLS, the sellers haven't approached me either and asked, "Am I going to pay the other side as well? Am I just going to pay half?" They haven't even brought up the lawsuit. And
Is
what
it
I'm seeing
interesting?
in the local market too is when I'm searching for properties, all the listings have a commission on the buyer side as well. I
Yeah.
haven't seen any listings that say 0 or that say $1, that, are pointing to no commission being paid to the buyer's agent.
I just don't see how that serves the buyer. I think of the whole experience, the one with the least experience, most commonly, not always, is the buyer, right? The seller theoretically owns a property, they probably bought it.
Right.
And now trade-up buyers, they have a house they're selling, they're buying another house. So
Mhm.
that's part of it. But it just seems to me that and experienced investors, they either work a deal with their own people or they know they're going to pay the commission they're going to pay. So it's really, there's this fantasy that there's some group I think that's going to benefit. I don't see buyers negotiating buyer's agents successfully, lowering the commission, and as a result, getting the same or better service. The opposite. I think it's just creates some
Right.
sort of a mess. So anyhow, it's curious.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think it also creates, a form of vulnerability for the buyers because if they're having to work with the listing agent and the listing agent ends up representing the buyers, their their dedication and loyalty is to the seller, right? So if and they're advocating for the seller. So if the same agent is going to be representing the buyer, and you have a first time buyer, that could create some vulnerability there for the buyer because they're very green, they're inexperienced, and they're putting all their trust into the listing agent, right? So, in my case, I've represented both sides before, but
I don't like it.
yeah, it is it does get a little hairy sometimes, so
I will often, with a sophisticated buyer, say, I'm not representing you. I'm going to just represent the seller and have them sign as a form. We have them say they acknowledge that I'm not representing them.
Mhm.
And they don't get the benefit of me fighting for them because I can't. I already signed a contract with my seller saying I'm going to get every dollar I can and rope the buyer in and tie him down for you. How can you turn around and
Right.
just say to the buyer, oh, yeah, I'm going to get you the best price. I'm going to negotiate down the price for you. How can I do
Right.
that? So I
Yes.
don't like to at all. And on some occasions, and I've had buyers approach me saying, we don't want to pay a commission. We want you to represent us. And I say, fine. In my listing contract, then I go to the seller and say, look, there's no buyer's agent. I'm entitled to the full whatever it is. But you
Mhm.
know what? It's a little less work for me. So I'll they found the property. I'll, lower the commission a little bit. I'll make more but it doesn't work out for the buyer. They're going to pay the same price. It just never works out.
Right.
I don't see it. Okay. So here we are, end of February, 2 months down, 10 to go. New Year is behind us. The Super Bowl is behind us. President's Day behind us. Whatever. Martin Luther King Day behind us. This is like,
President's Day.
it's
Yeah,
time to roll, baby. You closed 2 escrows today. You're not waiting for the year to start.
I
Where do you
did.
see the market this year? What's 2024 going to look like through Patricia Castillo's eyes?
I feel like it's definitely going to continue to be strong. And especially if the predictions are staying on track according to Fannie Mae and the rates start to drop in June, that's definitely going to, promote more buyers coming into the market and more listings as well. Sellers will be more um they'll be more excited about listing their home if they can get out of their mortgage and get into a lower rate mortgage as well. But yeah, I do see this year finishing off strong, just the way it started. I was busy all last year and started off with closings this year as well. So I think it's just going to continue throughout the year. And the most important part of that is educating buyers and sellers on what's really going on in the market, because the news just always makes it sound negative, and you really can't trust that with your own personal investment that you're going to be doing. You really have to talk to a real estate professional to get the most up to date, truthful, current information.
One more time. How many escrows did you close today?
I closed 2 and I took a new listing yesterday.
We're adding sound effects to our podcast, everybody. We're upgrading. Yes, we're not slowing down. So
Love it.
we're upgrading. Well, look, I'm really proud of you. You're doing a great job. You're really serving your customers well, and it shows. I love your social media too. You're really doing a great job being out there educating your customers, and it's paying off for you. So congratulations for the success, and more importantly, congratulations for putting the work in, and well deserved.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, Bill.
I think that's it for this week. I think there's a Homebuyer Seminar wrap for February 28th, 2024. We do this every week around 5 o'clock-ish because we're both kind of busy, but we're here to help you. If you want to reach out, text, email, call, whatever, social media. I'm at Bill Gross Probate social media. Patricia Castillo, your phone number is?
Yes, 323-365-9909. And I'm also on social media at Patricia Castillo Sells LA.
And she is on social media, and she does sell LA.
And I do sell LA.
She's all over the place selling stuff and on social media. So congratulations. Great job. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great week. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye.